All right. Well, this is the third time I'm doing this video. This is Action Con. This is Alpine Comic Books doing another video on Action PC Football. Yes, a comic guy doing football. Go figure. The year is 1962, and I'm in the American Football League. And I watched on YouTube. I've watched it a couple times, but NFL wants you to think that the 3-4 defense started in 1972 with the Dolphins, the Super Bowl era. But that is not true, because Hank Stram, and I think his name is Tom Catlin, he was a defensive coordinator for the 70 Rams, had some very good defense and employed the nickel very much early in the 70s. So he used to mess around with different defense, use different defenses. So what happened in the Dallas game is the Houston Oilers would line up, and George Blanda would call the snaps. And when he started to call his signals, the Dallas Texans defense would shift from a 4-3 into a 3-4, and they would drop the defensive end. Brett Hull would stand up in a 2-point stance, and it would be a 3-4 with 8-man in a zone coverage. So what I want to do is I want to set up my 3-4 defense for the Dallas Texans just like they played it in the championship game. And I have to do some adjustments to their personnel to be able to make that happen. Now, actually, I think when the tight end was on the left side, they shifted the other way. But for game purposes, I'm just going to do it on the strong side, which would be Brett Hull. He's the left defensive end. So I'm going to do that adjustment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into Dallas, and we're going to click on the defensive side and the defensive line. You have to click on Brett Hull, and you have to go to Modify Player. Then what you need to do is you need to click there, put a dash, and then put capital L, capital B, linebacker. And you need to click that. Now you need to go down to his pass defense, and he's not going to be a 0. He's going to be a 1. This is the only year he's with the team, so, but he is going to play linebacker for us. Now you can see he's an outside linebacker, and that's what we want. And he's still the starting left end on the 3-4. So we're going to click on our 3-4 defense, and we're going to take Corey, and we're going to put go to the left inside linebacker, which is Stover, and we're going to put Corey there, on the linebackers, because he moved inside to the left inside linebacker. Then we're going to go to the left outside linebacker, which is going to be Hull, where he lined up. Oh, come on. Brett Hull. So now we have our 3-4 defense, just how they lined up in the championship game. But we're not done yet. Because if I wanted to use this team as in a replay, what I need to do is I need to go up here to Computer Coach, and I go to Game Plan, and then the defense comes up, and I go to Defense. Now, as you can see, they have the 4-3 flex. Each one is 20%. So what I want to do is I want to go to the second one and put a 3-4, and I want to go to the fifth one, and I want to put a 3-4. That means I have a 40% chance of Dallas using a 3-4 defense. Okay, I don't want it higher than 40. If I could go 30, I could, but it's 20% interest. And I want to click out of there. Now, I have my Dallas Texans defense, and it's going to play the 3-4 the way it was that Hank Stram played it. Now we're going to click out of here, and we're going to go to 1964. Oops, wrong thing, sorry. And we're going to go to the American Football League again. Come on. Love it. Okay. And we're going to go to the Buffalo Bills. Now, Buffalo in 1964 was coached by Lou Saban. But who was the defensive coordinator for him? His name is Joe Collier. And when he left after the 65 season, he was the interim coach in 66. And he lasted a couple years, and then he was fired. And then he went back to Lou Saban in Denver. So what do we know Joe Collier for? We know Joe Collier from a defense named the Orange Crush. He was in charge of the 1977 Broncos defense, which was a 3-4. And he started using the 3-4 in 1964. It might have been earlier. I don't have YouTube videos to check. But I know I watched the 64 championship game, and there's still snippets of it on YouTube. And you can clearly see that they used the 3-4 defense against the 64 Chargers. And it wasn't to blitz. They dropped 8 men and tried to clog the passing lanes in the zone. And I checked 1965, and it's set up to do this, but not 64. So what you need to do this is you go to your defense, you go to Tom Day, the left defensive end, Tom Day, right there, and you're going to modify player, and you're going to go DE-LB. Oops. It's got to be caps. It can't be small. Oh, come on. I am so sorry. Operator, error. Okay, so you have his LB. You go down here. You have to put in a pass defense rating. I checked 65. His pass rating is a 2. So we're going to do the same thing. We're not going to try to make him overpowering. We're going to save. Now, we still have Tom Day as the right defensive end. Now we're going to check the 3-4. Okay, we have the left defensive end as Ron McDowell. We want Tom Dunaway as the nose tackle. And for the right defensive end, we need to put in Tom Sestak. But he's only a defensive tackle because he lined up at the right defensive end where Tom Day is. We want to put him there. So we're going to and he doesn't get a penalty because he actually played that game in the game, and I think he got a sack. So he's a good defensive end. So we need to click on Ted Sestak, and we need to modify him. And he's not going to be a DT. He's going to be a DL, a defensive lineman. And that's all we're going to do. Now we can take Sestak and put him in there for Ron Day. Now we got our defensive line lining up. Now we need to fix up our linebackers. Okay? We have the left outside linebacker is McGuire. So we're going to change this. Okay? So we want Stratton on the right. We want Tracy on the left. So we're going to take Tracy and we're going to put him. Where's Tracy? Come on. Okay. So now we have Tracy at the left outside linebacker. We have Stratton on the right. And now we have Jacobs. We want to put Jacobs is on the left. Now the right inside linebacker, we're going to put Tom Day. That's where he lined up. And it's going to give us a penalty. Use out of position because he's an outside linebacker. But you cannot make a defensive lineman an inside linebacker. So we're going to say yes. The penalty won't be that great. But that is our 1964 championship defense that played against the Chargers. As I said, you can look at the 1965 Bills, and Tom Day is a linebacker, defensive end. So that's what I have today, the 3-4 defense of the 1960s. Two teams that won championships and used it against passing teams. And also, you have to go into Buffalo. Oops. One other thing, you have to do the same thing to Buffalo. You have to go to game plan, and you have to put in, hey, we want them to use this if we're not playing them. We're going to put it in the second spot, and we're going to put it in the fifth spot. So now my AI defense will run this defense for the 64 Bills. Well, that's what I got today. This is to make your game more realistic. I did film study, so if you don't believe me, please go out and watch YouTube videos of the actual game and see where these players lined up. You know, if I'm wrong, please tell me. Leave your comments, and I hope this helps you make your replays more realistic. So, well, that's all I got today. I hope you like it. And thank you for my 2 viewers. God bless. Bye.